You can hit me on the socials, Pico_Day_Gallo on the fan, on X, Pico de Gallo 24 on IG. So, a lot of talk this week. Jalen Brunson, a lot of talk about Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Anthony Volpe, Ben Rice, Shedeur Sanders, all of these guys. One guy, and I'm not talking about just the fan. I'm talking about in general, and maybe in all of sports. One guy continuously is overlooked, underappreciated. Aaron Judge. The guy's hitting .430. What's his actual current numbers right now? He's hitting .432, 11 homers, 33 RBIs. Has gone on a ridiculous 5-game stretch. I'm sure it's even longer than that. His OPS, let me get the exact number for you. His OPS is 1312. Unreal. And you don't hear anything about him. ESPN, when they talk about the sport, barely talk about it. It's Ohtani. It's Juan Soto's struggles. Unreal. Even in this city, underappreciated. And I gotta be honest. I gotta take a shot at Yankee fans here. I think Yankee fans play a lot into this. Yes, the guy hasn't been perfect in the postseason. He has not been as bad as a lot of you have made him. Last year, if he doesn't drop that fly ball and they just lose the World Series, we're looking at a great postseason for him. I've done this in the past where I've talked about Alex Rodriguez, Barry Bonds, all-time greats who had one good postseason. A-Rod's one good postseason turned into a W, a World Series for the Yankees. Bonds is one good postseason. The Giants went to the World Series. Carlos Beltran, one of the best postseason players of his generation. All you guys remember is one at-bat. So to crush Judge for this is ridiculous. And I think it's the Yankee fan a lot of the times. Most of you never saw Mantle or Maris or DiMaggio or Yogi or Babe or Gehrig. But you act like you did. And for what it's worth, you don't win World Series alone. This is not the NBA. This is not the NBA. He's not a quarterback in the NFL. One guy in baseball cannot do it all. He is the best Yankee of my lifetime. I'm 33 years old. No, his legacy is not as great as Derek Jeter's. Nobody in the franchise in my lifetime has ever put up numbers like this, has ever been consistently great like this. The guy is on pace for his fourth 50 home run season, two of which he had 58 and 62. He had 144 RBIs last year. He's unreal and underappreciated. For a guy who's supposedly injury prone, he's been pretty durable since 2021. Yes, in 2023, he battled injuries. If the Yankees were better, I'm sure he's out there a lot more. He's carried. And yes, one guy does not win you a World Series. He did carry the Yankees in 2022 to the playoffs, to a 99-win season. He's amazing. And I think he's underappreciated in this market. I think he's underappreciated in this country. Shohei Ohtani is not as good as Aaron Judge. When he is not pitching, he's not as good as Aaron Judge. Ronald Acuna Jr., not as good as Aaron Judge. Bobby Witt Jr., not as good as Aaron Judge. My guy, Francisco Lindor, not as good as Aaron Judge. Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr. He is the best hitter, right-handed hitter I've seen since Albert Pujols. And I will say this again. Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols are the only guys at their peak that I would put ahead of him in my lifetime. Not Manny Ramirez, not David Ortiz, not Ken Griffey Jr., not Alex Rodriguez, not Sammy Sosa, certainly not Mike Trout, not Shohei Ohtani. No one, except for those two guys. And yet again, it feels like his greatness is taken for granted. And I don't know if this is a sign of the times where it feels like we get these guys who are great, we underappreciate them. You know, Tom Brady, at the end of his career, felt underappreciated. LeBron James, not underappreciated. It seems like a lot of people hate him. And when he's gone, we may never see a guy like that ever again. Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I almost nailed it there. The Greek freak. They're underappreciated. Nikola Jokic is like Aaron Judge. I've never seen someone as underappreciated as him. Patrick Mahomes feels underappreciated. We consistently see greatness from these guys, and it doesn't feel like maybe when I was younger, things felt grander. Michael Jordan was never underappreciated. Kobe Bryant never underappreciated. Mark McGwire, I don't care about the steroids. If I cared about steroids, I'd have no childhood to look to. None of these guys ever felt like they were underappreciated like this. But yet Aaron Judge somehow flies under the radar. And I'm not saying Yankee fans don't love him. I don't want that to be twisted. I do feel like at times they don't allow themselves to love this guy. The one comparison I'll make to Kobe Bryant is, if you know Laker fans, there's always this argument, is Kobe a top 5 Laker? And I hear guys call in this week to the station. I see people tweet it. Aaron Judge isn't close to a top 10 Yankee. I'm sorry. Babe Ruth was playing against all white guys with the best lineup in baseball, with like 7 teams. Yes, he's going to win a lot of World Series. Joe DiMaggio had Mickey Mantle. Derek Jeter had the core 4, and then A-Rod. Aaron Judge has had a broken down Giancarlo Stanton and a Gleyber Torres, who you guys all hated, as his 2 best running mates. Gary Sanchez was good for half a season. He had Juan Soto 1 year and went to the World Series. I'll make another comparison across sports. Donovan McNabb. Tough comparison for a lot of Giant fans. The guy was a great quarterback. Consistently went to the NFC title game. He had a wide receiver for 1 year. He went to the World Series. Went to the Super Bowl. I'm all over the place right now. This guy, Aaron Judge, rightfully so, puts everything on his back and takes all the criticism. But at some point, he's not going to be here, and some of you are not going to enjoy the ride enough to appreciate it. And I'm not a Yankee fan, but this guy might be my favorite guy in the sport. I tune in. Yes, I watch the Yankees every night. I watch the Mets. My entire life, I've always watched the Mets and the Yankees. But I do not miss Aaron Judge's at-bats. He's amazing. He is a unicorn. He is a freak of nature. He is a tight end playing the outfield at Yankee Stadium. He's playing the same sport Babe Ruth played, but they are 2 drastically different athletes. And if it wasn't for that wall at Dodger Stadium, we could be talking about this guy having 4 straight 50 home run seasons. He had 37 homers in 106 games in 2023. He's amazing. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't care what you say. If he retired today, I wouldn't say he'd be a first ballot, but he'd be a Hall of Famer. He's amazing. Yes, Jalen Brunson may get the accolades because he does it in the postseason. But for as a this and when people say the king of New York stuff, I like having fun with that. Yes, I'll call Jalen Brunson the king of New York, but that does not talk about who is the greater at their sport. Aaron Judge is what Jokic and SGA are for the NBA. He's what Patrick Mahomes is for the NFL. He is Connor McDavid for the NHL. He is Mbappe for my soccer fans out there. Messi if we're talking just the MLS. But the guy is older. He just got his butt kicked by Greg Berhalter's son. And that's all the soccer talk for today. It is insane how underappreciated this guy is. 888-808-1019. Stuart in Brooklyn, what's going on, Stu?
Yeah, good morning, Anthony. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Stu?
Aaron Judge. Unbelievable. I mean, you're right. He would have had 40 straight 50 home run seasons.
Right.
Yes.
And he really was on, like that season was a bad season for the Yankees. Yes, of course. Mm-hmm. He had 1,000 OPS and 37 homers in that 106 games. And then battled an injury when he did come back. So if he never had that injury, we're talking about this guy chasing a fourth straight 50 home run season.
He would have been. And that was a bad thing. And the Dodgers, that's why the Dodgers are considered the new evil empire in a bad way.
Yeah, well.
Am I right?
Fair. The Dodgers.
Fair. It is fair. And the thing is, Aaron Judge, well, let's just say this much. He's getting to be the best Yankee I've ever seen, although I did see number 7. I did see number 8. I saw number 2. I'm not that old. I didn't see number 3 or 4.
Okay, I was going to say, Stu, who haven't you seen? Again, and listen.
I saw Mantle play from what I remember, I saw him play from like 1957 on. And
that's some of his best years. And listen, yes. And Stu, I appreciate the call, as always, the great Stuart in Brooklyn. And I could talk baseball history with this guy forever. I did not see Willie Mays. I did not see Mickey Mantle. I did not see Roberto Clemente. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Aaron Judge is better than them. I can only speak for what I've seen. And in my lifetime, Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols are the only guys I'd put ahead of him. And Barry Bonds is the only right-handed hitter I'd put ahead of him. Tony Gwynn, all-time great contact hitter, did not have the power that Aaron Judge had. And for a fan base, especially an older fan base, not younger fans, guys my age did not get to see Don Mattingly in his prime. An older fan base, BT, who he's not part of the problem when I talk about the Yankee fans that underappreciate Judge. But BT's a perfect example. Don Mattingly's his guy. For a fan base that a lot of people glorify Don Mattingly, you do not allot Aaron Judge the same excuses that some people allot Don Mattingly. Yes, his career cut short because of injury. He did not have any running mates. He had that creep Mel Hall. Who was it? Kevin Moss for 3 weeks. Aaron Judge has been doing this for a long time by himself. Last year was the first year he did not do it by himself, and he got to the World Series. And if Garrett Cole covers first base, we'd be talking about a different World Series. I'm just asking for people to give people their flowers while they're still on the team. I'm not going to say the guy's way away from dying, but just give the guy his flowers.
This isn't the first time we've had some hypocrisy in this city.
Well, it's very true. What are you leading to?
Well, no, I'm just going off what you said with Don Mattingly.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, listen.
It's the same thing.
I'm a Mello guy. Mello is maybe my favorite Knick of all time. Again, I'm 33. It's like Larry Johnson, Jamal Crawford, Allen Houston. Mello, a guy I feel is underappreciated. Aaron Judge blows him out of the water. Jalen Brunson, obviously, you cannot deny his greatness. But Aaron Judge, when it comes to respectively in their sports, we blow them out of the water. I'm going to you'll appreciate this. Hendrik Lundqvist, maybe my favorite Ranger ever. I mean, Marty Brodeur played in this market, and That's like kind of the comparison. I think he's almost underappreciated. Again, the Devils, it's tougher. They're a smaller franchise. I guess we would say they're the third. I'm not talking about they're probably the best in our lifetime success-wise, but as far as size of the fan base, I don't know how to compare Long Island and New Jersey. There's a lot of guys we could go with. Tiki Barber, underappreciated New York athlete. You know, you were too young probably for Tiki M, correct? How old are you again, Nico?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Yeah.
So Tiki retired when I was 7 years old.
And he retired with 1,600 yards. And he was a dual threat back. And this is, I'm not a Giant or Jeff fan, but I got stuck. I'm going to use stuck kindly. I got stuck having to watch the Giants and Jets every weekend as a Bronco fan. We did not have the internet like it is now where I could, get a crazy, Fugazi stream, or League Pass was not a thing, Sunday Ticket. So I got to watch. Tiki was exciting, underappreciated. There are so many people we could compare that to. None of them as great as Aaron Judge. Rob in Stanford, you're on the Fan. What's going on, Rob?
About Aaron, I don't think he's underappreciated, man. You have to produce when,
He does. Don't give me the playoff thing because he has produced.
Hold on.
He hit one of the biggest home runs of the year last year.
Hold on, listen. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 and 24.
He was playing against plumbers.
I'm just saying, that's astronomical numbers. Aaron does that. But imagine, it almost looks like he's point shaving in the postseason.
Yeah, but that's not, Rob, but that's not fair. That's not fair.
He was qualified for a career in the postseason.
Yeah, but then you could also, cherry pick that, but you could also say that he's had playoff series where he was the best player on the Yankees. Yes, a lot of it has been bad. But also,
you're right. It does take a team. It does take a whole team in baseball. You're right. But he has to do his part. He did not do his part.
Yes, but he also did his part last year. Before he dropped that ball, which they did not lose that game because he dropped that fly ball. Before he dropped that fly ball, he was bad. I know, but hear me out real quick, Rob. And I'm not saying, listen, we're disagreeing, but I'm not saying you're wrong. Listen, before he dropped that fly ball, if the Yankees lose that World Series, we're not talking about him having a bad series. Because he was good in the ALCS and the World Series. He was good. Against the Royals, he was good. He was doing his part. And then the same aspect of it, Rob, I'm guessing you're a Yankee fan, correct?
No, I'm a Mets fan.
Oh, okay. All right. See,
I enjoy them losing.
We're just two Mets fans coming up right now.
No, I love to see great players. I love to see great. And let me just say this real quick, too. I punched the numbers. I went to Baseball Reference with him compared to Barry Bonds. And if you look at the careers, Barry blows him out.
Well, Barry's the greatest ever.
It's not fair. It's not totally fair, though, because Barry, before the steroid, did have 3 MVPs. But when you look at the numbers, like 800 games, Aaron does have them. He does have them. I have to say that.
Oh, well, that's fair. And I'm glad you pointed that out. And listen, Rob, how old are you?
56.
Okay, so a little bit of an age difference. For me,
matter of fact, his birthday, Aaron Judge's birthday was after mine, day after.
Right. So, for me, I don't really have a negative connotation for guys who took steroids because, if I did, I would have nothing to hang my hat on because that was my entire childhood. Barry Bonds, the greatest athlete I've ever seen. I get it. He was chemically enhanced, but that's the perfect example of what I'm trying to say. And as far as some seasons, the only guys besides Bonds and Pujols, Albert Bell had one season like Bonds.
Oh yeah, he's underappreciated. But he was a nasty guy though. Man.
Well, he was a bad guy, yeah, of course. And then A-Rod, not underappreciated, but had similar seasons to that. But Judge, I feel like, and maybe it's because we're just used to his greatness. Like today, he goes out there, has a big game. Yes, they lose, but he's not the reason why they lose. But he goes out there, has a big game, and it just feels like another day. It just doesn't feel like we're appreciating the greatness of this guy. Because Jalen Brunson, listen, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Jalen Brunson is probably my favorite athlete in all of sports right now. Jalen Brunson is amazing. He is not on the level of Aaron Judge, but to your point, he does it in the postseason.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call, Rob. Thank you. I mean, listen, it's going to be something that and maybe me not being a Yankee fan, I can get past it. But also, it's tough for me to compare the sports. We're Met fans. If you think about the way Met fans talk about Beltran, you would think he was an awful postseason player. He's got some of the craziest postseason numbers ever. He hit 50, not 50, whatever it was. With the Astros, he hit like 15 home runs in one postseason. Bernie Williams, I think, has the most World Series home runs ever. Is he better than Aaron Judge? Is he as great? No. Now, I have an argument to make that Bernie Williams should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's a whole other story.
That's just what we do in this town, though. I mean, I love Daniel Murphy. Was Daniel Murphy that good of a player as a Met?
No.
I mean, granted, he went to Washington and then was amazing for those couple of years. But, like, in his time with the Mets, he really wasn't that good of a player.
He wasn't. And
we always talk about him as a hero in this town.
And we forget, how did his tenure end? He botched that. We all forget about that because of the Lucas Duda throw.
Right.
He did have a terrible error in that World Series. And that was what I remember Daniel Murphy for. And also, they could have kept him. I wasn't one of these guys who lost my mind when he left and was great for Washington. Like, it wasn't like the guy that Neil Walker was pretty good the year that they brought him in.
Well, also, too, that was the same offseason where they ended up bringing back Cespedes. And I remember just being more excited about Cespedes coming back than I was upset that Murphy left.
Right. And Cespedes, it was a 2-year sample, but it was a crazy 2 years for him. It was incredible. But it is, we could go down the line. Like, I feel like it's tough with the Mets because they've never been in that position, and most of their guys, Piazza didn't start here. Lindor a little different because we got him at 26, 25, 26, whatever he was. Soto's now 26. Pete, look at what we did to Pete. Obviously, I was leading the charge on that. And he's still not on the level that Aaron Judge is. Like, all of the great guys that have played for any of my franchises, outside of football, because the Broncos have been a pretty decent franchise. You could do this with a lot of people. And it also is the national media. And I know baseball is not what it once was. But I've seen ESPN in the past week talk about Ohtani. I've seen ESPN talk about Juan Soto struggling. I have not seen any mention of Aaron Judge. MLB Network, very little mention of Aaron Judge. And I think MLB Network does a great job. On this station, we will talk about him. But the people who call in want to talk about Juan Soto struggling. They want to talk about Pete Alonso, Ben Rice, what Brian Cashman didn't do, or how great David Stearns is. We'll talk about Jalen Brunson. We'll spend a week talking about Jackson Dart. Aaron Judge deserves more attention. And as the season goes, I hope he gets it. The guy is a freak. In baseball, at least for me, we like to view these guys as like folk heroes. Me growing up, hearing about a Mickey Mantle, hearing about Willie Mays, Willie Stargell, any of these guys, they felt like Paul Bunyan-esque, like Greek mythology. Aaron Judge is that. He's an Adonis type. He is literally the central casting for the slugger in a baseball movie. He could play tight end for the Giants. That's how big of a dude he is. He's not just a home run hitter. He's a career 281 hitter. If you took the last 3 years into account, he's a 304 hitter. In 324 games, he's got a 16.6 WAR. This is just from 23 to now. He's got a 16.6 WAR. Oh, well, hold on. Whoops. This is not the right stats. That was Shohei Ohtani. Okay, even greater. From 23 to 2025, he's got a 18.4 WAR, 315 average, over 1,100 OPS, 105 homers, 251 RBIs. And that's with the down 2023. That's how amazing this guy is. As far as athletes in the city, in my lifetime, we could talk about the winning and we could argue about the winning and all of that. There's not many guys I'd put ahead of him. Jeter, yes. But Jeter as an overall baseball player was not better than Aaron Judge. I mean, Jeter wasn't better than A-Rod. It does not mean he's not one of the greatest shortstops ever. So I don't want that to be like I'm hating on him. It's just a fact. There's not a basketball player I'd put ahead of Aaron Judge. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. Yes. When it comes to his respective greatness as a player, he was not as great as Aaron Judge. There's nobody worth mentioning on the Jets, unfortunately. You want to throw Darrelle Revis in there? He was great for a 4 or 5 year stretch. This guy is incredible. And I just hope people start locking in on him. Max Fried, another guy. Yes, he's only been here for a year, so there's not that infinity, that love, that affection that you have for an Aaron Judge, for a Pete Alonso. He's been amazing. They right now have the Cy Young and AL MVP locked up. And New York baseball right now is king. Judge and Alonso, players of the month. Fried, pitcher of the month in the AL. Acuna, rookie of the month in the NL. So much for Brett Beatty winning that job. Anthony in the Bronx. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, how you doing? Listen, as a lifelong Yankee fan, growing up in the Bronx, and ironically a Laker fan also, which is crazy, for over 35 years. So I've seen 11 championships with the Lakers, right? And 7 with the Yankees.
You're just like my best friend, Stu, who is a Laker-Yankee fan.
Yeah. And so here's my thing. Judge is a great player. You can't deny that. But for a fan like me that seen a guy like Reggie Jackson, who wasn't a better all-around player than Judge, but played big in big moments. And so that's what we're looking for. I'm not knocking Judge, but for me, it's about winning the chip. The ultimate goal in playing any game is to win the game. And so Judge is great. Yes, you can't deny that, but he has to perform. He has to perform when it counts the most, win a championship. And that's what a lot of Yankee fans are saying. Not that he's not a great player, but we're used to championships. So the ultimate goal is winning that chip. And just like with the Lakers, I've seen guys like Magic and Kobe. These guys played big when it counted.
But would you not – okay, it's tough to compare Kobe and Judge because Kobe, if anything –
No, you're right. You're right.
But was Kobe – you're a Laker fan, so I can't speak for you. Is he not almost disrespected in Laker lore?
He is, but, they try to put him up with Mike, and he tried to be like Mike. He is, but he's not on the level – there's nobody on the level of Mike, but I get your point.
Right.
He is
and I'm not even saying he's on the level of Magic. I'm not even saying that, but it's just –
I wouldn't say –
I'm not saying hard. One way or the other. I'm just saying that, he is – and I can only go by my friends and contemporaries that are Laker fans. But it feels like he is also disrespected. But for Judge, my thing is Reggie also had – and I get it. He has one of the greatest, if not the greatest – World Series performance for a single hitter.
Yes.
But he also played on a team that was built to win a World Series. You could make the argument that Judge is the only reason why the Yankees are consistently in the position they're in.
Well, you know something? You're absolutely right. Because we have so many 238, 240 hitters. You're absolutely right. Judge does not have the team that Jeter had. You're absolutely right.
Right. And again, Jeter is one of the most primetime players I've ever seen. But he also had a core 4. And he had guys.
Core
5. Yeah. You had guys also like Bernie Williams, who may not have been a superstar, that Bernie Williams was also one of the best postseason players I've ever seen. So
no doubt about it.
Where Judge, and Anthony, I appreciate the call. It's a very good call. And I understand it. And for the older Yankee fan, I understand it even more. For the Yankee fan that's my age or younger, I do not understand it. He did see Reggie Jackson play. He's also a Yankee fan that went through the darkest days as a Yankee fan, those late 80s, early 90s Yankee fans. So Anthony gets it. And I thought he was being fair. I get it. I'm a Met fan, Knick fan, Ranger fan, so I do not live in a ring culture like that guy. Laker, Yankee fan. I'm sure if he was a Giant fan too, just add to it. But Reggie had a stacked team around him. He was the best player, yes. Judge only has one guy that shows up for him, and that's Stanton. The other guy was Glaber, and Yankee fans couldn't wait to run him out of town. When we first saw Aaron Judge, it was supposed to be him and Gary and Miguel Andujar. And it was a different iteration. And then you get Soto, and they get to the World Series. And things were a lot different. 888-808-1019.